I've got something to deliver that's so important that I think it needs to be read rather than said. I'm on my way to the gym this morning, but this was on my heart. My wife and I are going to a Dwight Yoakam concert. I hope that you'll find this helpful. Why aren't you making more money in painting? It is a really good question, and it's often on the minds of painters everywhere because, in essence, it's what we're in the business to do, right? To work hard and provide for our family. So, I am now going to read you something that I think is very important, and I've been so concise in this, I thought that you might want to listen to it as well. Why aren't you making more money in painting? First, let me say this. I know that talking about money is triggering to many painters. Many will claim loudly that they aren't in it for the money. And if that's you, and if that's true, there's no need to watch this video or listen to the rest of this message. Just keep working for peanuts. You'll always have your pride, right? Excuse me, I thought that was funny. For the rest of you, those that see making money as more of a puzzle to be solved and less of an emotion to be felt, please read on. First, let me lay out some conceptual frameworks I think you need to take to heart. There are these mental prerequisites for making money in this business. Without understanding them, you will be led astray, most often by yourself. These are the foundational principles of reality I've watched with the world's wealthiest painters using them to find financial peace and quality of life. They are, in essence, guideposts that will lead you down the well-worn path of successful painters that have gone before you. Here they are in no particular order. Making money is about math, never emotions. When you go to the bank, you deposit numbers. When you pay your painters or the paint store, you give them numbers. Not once ever have you traded your emotions for something of value in business. Emotions are not a form of currency, yet inexplicably many painters feel that their emotions, how they feel about their painting business or how it should be operated, will change the numbers. It can't. If you've ever said to yourself, I'm not a numbers guy, you've sentenced yourself to a life of poverty. Let me ask you to do something. Say to yourself 3 times aloud, I mean this, guys, because some of you have never said this. I love the math in my painting business. I can learn the math in my painting business. I will improve the math of my painting business. I know you can because I've seen hundreds do exactly the same. Number 2, building wealth is a skill and discipline you learn in addition to painting. When you read the birth notices in your local paper, you never hear that a doctor, chemist, plumber, or manager was born, yet you read where they die. This means that somewhere between birth and death, these skills were learned and developed to a degree of professionalism. For the life of me, I cannot understand why painters will gladly spend years or decades developing what they do with their hands, but never what they do with their minds. It's crazy. Your mind is the thing that makes real wealth, the kind that isn't tied to the hourglass, not your hands. At some point in your career, you will want to build wealth and equity for your family. Then you must decide to get serious about the business end of your business, not just the trade skills. Number 2, time is the binder of wealth. So I can't paint. I've never painted, even though I ran and sold a successful painting business. That's why I never give painting advice. Yet poor painters, inexplicably, are always full of business advice for those other broke painters. And as I've been told again and again, they know more than me because they paint. Yet I digress. However, I will give you a paint lesson today. There are 3 major components to paint. First, the body. It's the bulk of what is in the can, most often the white stuff. Second, the pigment. It's what is squirted into the can, this is my technical term, and to do the color. Third, the binder. This is the small amount of expensive metals and chemical that bind the body to the pigment. Even though the binder is a small part of paint, it is essential for holding everything together. In like manner, your time as the owner is the binder for your painting business. The 4 to 8 hours a week that you spend doing things that are very important but not urgent. These are the things that will help you make more money 30, 60, or 90 days from now. If you cannot manage and prioritize your time, If there's always some minor emergency or errand that must be done, you are screwed and you can't be helped. No amount of wishful thinking or emotionalizing can change this fact. You must be committed to setting aside a certain amount of time each week to build your business of your dreams. Each painter can use their calendar wisely. Rich painters use their calendar as shields. Poor painters use their calendars as sponges. Show me a painter's calendar and I can predict his wealth or lack thereof. Number 4, your painting business is made of standalone systems. There's no such thing as a car. It's simply a collection of parts that work together to achieve a specific designed result. The engine does one thing and the brakes do another. The engine turns the transmission and the transmission spins the wheels and the tires grip the road. Each part does its own job as designed unless it doesn't. If the tires are bald, your car will slide on the road in wet conditions. If the engine is failing, you may not be able to climb a hill over 45 miles an hour. If you have a transmission problem, there may be jerks, shudders, or the inability to go into a certain gear. When your car needs repair, it's always a certain part that needs fixing or replacing, not the whole car. It's the same in business. Production rates, job costing, persuasive selling, client retention, client reactivation, commercial prospecting, running effective crew meetings, performance, pay, scheduling, and managing direct reports are all standalone systems. And just as there's a right way and a wrong way to go about painting surfaces with a specific paint and a specific applicator, each business system has a best practices method for working well in the real world and ways that do not work at all. Number 5, yes, sequencing matters. When you paint a house, you pressure wash, scrape, sand, spot prime, and paint the first coat, then the second in that order. Generally speaking, you start at the top and work your way down. If you did this in reverse order, the results would be disastrous. There's a proper sequence, and not all things are of equal importance. This is the same principle that applies to improving your business systems that build your wealth. Not all business functions or systems are of equal importance. Just because you feel something is essential in your business does not mean it is. Often painters get stuck majoring on the minors or obsessing over things that don't matter much in the grand scheme of things, while leaving the critical and often unknown elements completely broken or absent. When you begin to work on improving your business, there's an order of operations that must be followed. When you begin to work on improving your business, you must know that each individual system is responsible for a metric, and that metric flows in to your wealth. Number 6, wealth is attracted to speed of implementation and repelled by sloth and indecision. In my line of work, I can only really help people by first conducting a business diagnostic. I need to gather metrics for revenue, cash flow to owner, gross profits, close rates, client size of list, average transaction size, charge rates, pay rates, etc. I need to know quickly what business systems are absent, broken, or high functioning. I also need to ascertain if the painter is even open to making real changes in their business, much less if they are fully committed and determined to succeed. As you might expect, some accept my help. Others, despite living in poverty and frustration for decades, still have to, quote, think about it, which for the life of me, I cannot understand. However, I do not push indecisive people into making decisions. Indecisive people are very often hard to coach, and they often will not take action even if they pay to enroll in our programs, even though it's in their best financial interest. So most often, I'm glad to see them go. However, I have conducted about 200 second diagnostics for painters after a few months or years of someone dragging their feet. I suppose they think things will magically get better or they'll figure it out on their own. To my knowledge, I've never seen it happen. Not once that I can remember. The truth is, improving your business is hard enough when you have mentorship, peer support, and done-for-you tools and systems that are sequenced properly. However, without them, it is a fool's errand. A painter can no more turn himself into a businessman without practice, training, or instruction than I could turn myself into a master painter without a similar amount of effort and guidance. No, wealth is attracted to speed. It is attracted to boldness. It is magnetically pulled to massive action. Hand-wringing, waffling, and procrastination are the hallmark of the poor. Victory is only for the courageous. Sadly, these are virtues that our culture no longer honors. In closing, if you've watched or read this far, you obviously have a desire to build wealth and to change your life. You know in your heart of hearts that something isn't right. You know that you need to take action, but what type of action? Let me recommend 2 things. Number 1, join me for a live training, The Rich Painter's 5 Factors for Financial Success and Joy. It's this Thursday, February 15th at 4 p.m. in Eastern. About the Porky Pig here. And I hope you can make it. It's taken me 10 years of coaching and 500 painters to arrive at these conclusions and methods, and I dare say you'd benefit. To avail yourself of them, just email me. I'll send you the credentials. If you watch this after the fact, it may be too late, but my email is brandon@paintersacademy.com. That's brandon@paintersacademy.com. The second thing is, let's just talk. Email me, brandon@paintersacademy.com. I'd be happy, ecstatic to speak with you about your painting business, goals, dreams, and problems. No matter what you do, know this: making money in painting is a learned skill. It's a skill I've seen mastered by the young and the old, the black, brown, white, and red, in commercial, residential, and industrial painting, those in bustling cities and rural countrysides, and even those in 6 different nations. You can do it too if you have the will, and I would love to help you. God bless you in all you do. Good luck to everything you do. Your friend and painting prophets, Brandon Lewis. That's all, folks. I've got to go to the gym. It is Saturday morning, but I am in the middle of my busy season. And sometimes I think things get put on my heart, and I feel like I need to read them instead of do them over the video, because I'm afraid I'll leave something out that's important. Guys, if you can make it to that training, email me. I'll send you the credentials, brandon@paintersacademy.com. If I can ever help you, I'm not some kind of monster. I do this to make money. Obviously, it's how I feed my family. But if you would ask the members that have gone through our program that are remarkably successful, they love me. Absolutely love me. They may not love my brash, direct manner, and I would say I try to work on that, but I think I wouldn't be who I was. But once they start implementing things, they do love me because they love the results. My goal is just to give people tools and to get them to take action. And once they do that, and once they have some success, they want to continue. So guys, love you, mean it. I hope you have a great weekend. I'm going to go listen to some good country music with one of my best friends, take my beautiful wife out to the Reed House Hotel, and just have a good time. And so I hope that you're having a fantastic weekend. It's Brandon Lewis here with the Painters Academy, signing off.